Hi, welcome to the first Sabbath School Daily of our new quarter. This quarter, we're going to be studying from this lesson right here, Psalms, and today we're starting from lesson number 1, which has the title, How to Read the Psalms, and today is Sabbath's lesson. Before we go in, I am super excited to study this lesson. The book of Psalms is one of the most beautiful, deep, and inspiring books of the whole Bible, and so I hope that you accompany us throughout this quarter. Our memory verse this week comes from Luke chapter 24, verse 44 and 45, that says, "Then he said to them, 'These are the words which I spoke to you while I was still with you, that all things must be fulfilled which were written in the law of Moses and the prophets and the Psalms concerning me.' And he opened their understanding that they might comprehend the scriptures." This text comes from a very specific moment in the book of Luke, where two disciples are going to the city of Emmaus right after Jesus' crucifixion, and they are met on the road by a stranger. Initially, they have no idea who he is. At the end of the talk with him, they find out that it was no one other than Jesus Christ himself. And Jesus talks about the book of Psalms, among other books, that reveal him, that talk about him in the scriptures of the Old Testament. You see, friends, the book of Psalms is much more than just songs. Of course, it is that as well. We know that it was the hymnal book of the children of Israel, but it goes much deeper than that. In these Psalms, we find prophecies about Jesus, about his life, about future events. These are called messianic prophecies. We also find laments, songs, prayers, cries for help, all of these things coming from the most raw moments in the life of some of these authors, some of these psalmists, as we call them. And so as we embark on the journey throughout the book of Psalms, be that through the more famous of these psalms, such as Psalm 23, Psalm 46, Psalm 90, Psalm 119, and really we could quote a bunch of these more famous psalms, or be that through the lesser known psalms, the ones that we don't really read all that much, that we don't hear about all that much. I'm sure that the Lord has a lot of growth planned for us as we look into these books of the Bible, into these chapters. Now, I really want you to pay attention as we go through these books, not only to listen to what's being said here at Sabbath School Daily, but to read, to study your lesson, to go in depth. Take advantage of this new year that's starting in just a few days to take advantage of your Sabbath School lesson. Look up the verses that are mentioned here, look up the chapters, look at the context, read about what's going on behind the scenes of the Psalms. If you want, you could find so much information about this book out in the internet, and so I encourage you not to stay at the surface level. Dig deeper, find out more, and the Lord will enhance your knowledge that way. If you don't have a physical copy of the lesson like I do right here, you could go on the internet and there are several websites that provide virtual digital copies of the lesson, and you can study there as well. There are apps on the App Store and on the Apple Store that also have the Sabbath School lesson, so there isn't really an excuse for you not to dig deeper, for you not to study your lesson every day. In any case, truly pay attention to what's being read here, to what you're reading, to what you're studying. There's so much here, friends, that go beyond the surface level, as I've already said before. There are psalms that are being written by David when he's running away from Saul or when he just committed a heinous deed, a sin. There are other psalms that come from Solomon that are psalms of wisdom, psalms of glory to God. There are songs where David is singing to the Lord praises and acknowledging him for what he is, for being a great God, for being a God of the law, a God of forgiveness, a God of mercy. There is so much going on in this book that I'm truly curious to see how the author has packed all of it into just one quarter. So accompany me as we go throughout this book. Don't miss out on this first week that has to do with how we should read the book of Psalms. There's a lot of really good information that's packed in here, so don't miss out on any of our days. Also, write down below with any comments or any questions. I love hearing from you, and I hope to see you in here tomorrow for another Sabbath School Daily.